I'm that dying guy. My name is Logan, and today I want to talk about that trapped animal mentality that you saw in that clip at the beginning of this video, where I'm kind of yelling at my partner, and then you see them go in the other room, talk to someone else, and they talk about how mean I am because of the yelling. Now, when I posted this on my social media, there was kind of a mixed reaction. A lot of people relating very heavily to this because they experience these episodes of extreme anger related to their symptoms. And then there were people saying things, like, well, if I were your partner, I would not want to stay. I would feel like you were lashing out at me unjustifiably because, yes, you're in pain, but I'm a human being and my needs are valid too. And here's the thing, my video did not mean to take away from the fact that my partners have needs and my partners have emotions. My partners very much have needs and emotions, and those needs and emotions are things that I attend to every single day. And those things are things that I think about even when I'm having those extreme levels of pain where I can't help but lash out because of this trapped animal mentality. I'm so sorry about all of the noise. This is the culprit. I got a kitten recently, so he can't help but make a lot of noise, and there's really nothing I can do about it, because even when I try to film when he's sleeping, he wakes up immediately because he knows I'm filming. So enjoy him playing in the background. Anyway, so this trapped animal mentality comes from the idea of when animals are injured or sick and someone goes to try to help them, the animal might bite them in response instead of accepting the help. And that is because they are scared and they're so hurt and so overwhelmed by that pain and that fear that they don't know that they're receiving help, or they're afraid of the help that they're receiving even. Even if it's someone that they know and they love, they might bite and snap because they're in so much pain. And that trapped animal mentality is something that we talk about and we apply to animals all the time. But when it comes to human beings who are experiencing pain and overwhelming symptoms of extreme pain and extreme stress, we don't seem to apply that trapped animal mentality, even though human beings are animals and it still scientifically applies. So in the beginning, in that clip, what I'm demonstrating there, albeit in a dramatized way, is that trapped animal mentality, where I'm so overwhelmed by that pain and that fear of that pain in my body that I'm telling my partner to get out and get away because I'm so scared and so overwhelmed by that pain. And that's something that a lot of people who experience chronic pain, especially to extreme levels where it is a 10 out of 10, the worst pain you ever felt in your life every single day, people who experience those levels of pain may find themselves lashing out at the people that they care about without meaning to. And that's something that not only is very hurtful for the person that they care about, but it's very hurtful for that person themselves. And that's what I'm trying to get at with that reel. That not only is it hurtful for the person that you care about, but it's also very hurtful for the person who's going through it. Putting that label of a mean person on someone who is going through pain is not accurate for that situation all the time. Sure, there are plenty of examples where there are people who do not take accountability and do not change their actions, do not change their words, and use their pain as an excuse to be mean and angry. And that is not what I'm talking about here. Those examples are not what I'm talking about here. There are people who genuinely struggle with the fact that they do not want to be mean. They do not want to lash out. They do not want to be angry. They don't want to be filled with that panic and that fear that comes with the pain. And when they lash out at their loved ones, as soon as the words leave their mouth, they realize that they came out in the wrong way. They came out harsher than they intended, or they came out more blunt, or just not even the words that they meant to come out at all. And they see the pain that comes after. And when you're in that much pain yourself, sometimes there's not anything you can do immediately about it, except ask them to leave so you don't do anything worse. And in those moments, I want everyone to know that I see you. You're not a bad person. You're not a mean person. And You're just doing your best to get through this. You didn't ask for this. You are not a burden. You are not mean. You are not who you are when you are in pain. I'm not myself when I'm in pain. You are not yourself when you're in pain. And your loved ones will understand, and they will help you get through this. My loved ones understand, and they help me get through this. That's what I'm showing in that reel, is that they understand and they help me get through this, even when my other people in my life really don't understand and just want to label me as a mean person. My partners stand by me and say, he's in pain. This isn't who he is. When you're in pain, it's not who you are. Taking accountability and apologizing and working to have patience the next time you're in pain, which is very hard, but working to have patience the next time you're in pain is important. And taking accountability for your actions and for your words when you're in pain is important. And working for those moments when you're able to have rational thought outside of the pain, to make those as beautiful and as filled with love for your partners and the people that you love as possible. That's what's important, because you really can't control what's going to happen when you can't control your body. To get personal and give a bit of a personal example here about what it might be like for me when I'm going through these episodes of being angry while being in pain. When my pain and my medical episodes get very intense, I'm out having a medical crash. What typically happens for me is I have very extreme pain, 10 out of 10 all over my body. I might have multiple dislocations happening. Maybe my hip is dislocated, a shoulder, or my fingers and hands have dislocated. I'll usually be throwing up. That goes along with it because I have cyclical vomiting syndrome. That goes along with all the dysfunctions that are going on in my body. And because of the overwhelming pain, throwing up, having a panic attack because the symptoms get really overwhelming, and it gives me flashbacks of the other times my symptoms get really overwhelming. Flashbacks to the times I've almost died, flashbacks to, really, really horrible times in my life. So it gets extremely overwhelming all at once, and I might start barking orders at my partners because I can't get words out very easily. It's so painful and so difficult. So much is going on in my brain and my body that I'll bark orders. I'll say, water now, heating pad now. And if I don't get them fast enough, sometimes I'll even say things like, no one cares about me. No one's helping me. And those are horrible things to say. And I recognize when I'm saying them that I shouldn't be saying them, that it's not true, and that it's hurtful to the people around me to be saying them. And usually right after, I'll start saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, because I realize how horrible it is for me to have said that. It becomes a whole cycle of a mess because of how overwhelming and how terrible this pain is. Something that I couldn't show in that 10-second reel that I posted. But I'm sure that everyone who commented in agreement understands and has been through. And I'm very sorry that a lot of people understand and have been through that. That's why I posted it, is because I wanted people to know that you're not alone in these emotions, and you're not a bad person for having these emotions. I've been suffering in silence for a while, not posting the rougher sides of myself, because I've feared public perception. I don't want people to think badly of me. I think a lot of people are in that same boat. We really don't want people to think badly of us. I personally don't like people thinking I'm a mean person. And this past year, as more and more pain has built up and more symptoms have built up in my body, I've gotten meaner in those times of panic, in those times of overwhelm. And more people have seen me in those worst moments of my life. And more people have evaluated me as a mean person. And that hurts. And it's gotten to a point where I've evaluated myself as a mean person. And I don't want to be in that place. So I've decided to stand by the fact that I am not who I am when I am in pain. And I want you all to know that you are not yourself when you're in pain. And it is okay to not be yourself when you're in pain. As long as you take accountability, apologize, and try to move forward with love. Those are the important things. Moving forward with love and listening to the people that you might hurt along the way. Because there's a lot of nuance to these situations, and people hurt people on accident all the time. In these situations with intense illness, intense symptoms, people get hurt just by being around people who are suffering, and that's no one's fault. That's simply because there's so much love in this situation. My loved ones are hurt by being around me because they love me. They love me so much, and seeing me writhe in pain hurts them. It wouldn't matter if I yelled at them or not. Seeing me writhe in pain is enough to hurt them. So these situations are incredibly hard, and sometimes we make them harder on ourselves without meaning to. And being there for each other is the most important thing. Opening these conversations is important. Talking about it is important. Letting each other know that we're not alone in these situations, that we're not monsters, and that we're not evil people for not being in control all the time. It's okay. As always, the conversation is open in the comments, and if you like the conversation that we're having here, make sure to like and comment and subscribe. And thank you all so much for being here. I'm really so glad that you're here.